Betting in the Break, the show where we are going to either make you whole or grow your bankroll as we talk about the late games and some of the early window games in the NFL tomorrow. Late game, of course, there's one college playoff late game tonight, Ohio State, Tennessee. The Texas-Clemson game right now, Texas leading by 14. That was minus 12.5 if you're on the Texans, so you're sweating that one out. Either way, you're hoping, if you're on Clemson, you're hoping that they can score again. If you're on Texas, you're hoping that they won't, and that one still hangs in the balance. One that is pretty much over, the Pittsburgh Steelers have just fallen apart against the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are about to go up by, I think, 21 points shortly. I was on the under in this game, and boy, is it over the under. There was absolutely nothing to me that indicated that this would be a high-scoring game. And, you know, sometimes your analysis is right and the outcome is wrong. It's a theory called outcome-based thinking, and it's hard to not fall into it. But you know, if you are confident in your analysis, which of course I was in this case, there was nothing that indicated a high scoring game, nothing. And yet we end up on the losing end. So that's why they call it gambling. The guy who knows something about that as well, Tom Macrina. Hey, how are you, sir? Love the beer.
I'm doing well. Thank you. Happy holidays. It is a season of giving, so hopefully we're giving some winners tonight. Unfortunately, I was on that under for the Steelers Ravens as well, but I'm also on the Ravens, so hopefully we could catch that one ticket. Yeah, I'm certainly disappointed in that under not cashing.
Yeah, you're going to split in that game. I'm going to lose both sides of it because I was on the Steelers as well, plus the points, and they're not going to come anywhere close. Again, the analysis that I didn't show me this outcome even plausible. So there we go. All right. So you got somebody like me, Tom, that is lost in this window. So I've got to try to get whole in the next one. Ohio State, Tennessee, give me your pick.
Yeah, so the winner here is going to go and play Oregon. Ohio State finished the season with the loss to Michigan. Very disappointing. We'll talk about Tennessee first. 8th in scoring. They're 33rd in yards per play, 4th in total defense, 4th in yards per play. I kind of think that the cold is going to bother this team, especially Nico. He's from the warm weather, coming up to Ohio State. It's going to be tough for him. But Ohio State, offensively, they can move the ball against anyone, I guess, except against Michigan. They put up 467 yards against Oregon. Oregon's 21st in yards per play allowed in the league. Yeah, Ryan Day's on the hot seat from the fans. I think the Vols defense, they have trouble getting turnovers. And I think that Ohio State's going to be able to move the ball on this team. I think defense is going to be king. But I think that Ohio State's offense is going to be superior. They covered a number here. Ohio State minus 7.5.
The one thing that gives me pause is Ohio State's offensive line is beat up. Mm-hmm. They have a number of significant people missing on the offensive line, and the Tennessee defensive line is big, strong, and fast. So they can shut down the run. And I don't know, there was just something off with Ohio State in that game against Michigan, and it's not like their offense has been great all year. So I'm a little concerned about that pick, but hey, that's your analysis and we'll go with it. Over or under the number in this game. And I believe that number is 46.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I said, I think both defenses are going to do really well here. I think it stays under the number.
So under the 46 and Ohio State minus, what is it, 7.5?
7.5.
All right. So there you go. There's the analysis on that. I've got a little bit of NFL to talk about. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers just keep finding ways to win. That's all they do. Baker Mayfield will drive you nuts, but somehow in crunch time, he keeps coming through. They've got both their star receivers back. Dallas, I'm sorry, I have a hard time believing in them, even at home, because quarterback is Cooper Rush, and just who knows, But then again, Dallas surprised and has won a couple of games since Dak Prescott went out that I didn't think that they would win. So, the problem for me in this game is this line opened Tampa Bay +4. It has flipped all the way to Tampa Bay -4. So all the value is out of that line now. But I still love Tampa Bay in this game. So what's the play?
Yeah, I'm actually on the other side of that. As he said, after Cooper Rush came in, he started 0-2. Since then, they've been 3-4. Their last 4 games, they've scored 30, 20, 27, and 34. I get it. Tampa's on a hot streak. They won 4 in a row, but they're a streaky team, and I think that streak ends here.
Well, I'm not going to – I wouldn't take Tampa -4, but I am going to take Tampa Bay on the money line here, -205. I already placed that bet yesterday. So I'm riding or dying with it now because I already made that pick. I can see Dallas winning potentially, but man, Tampa Bay's got so much on the line. They can win the South if they can string together a couple more wins. And I just can't see Tampa Bay losing in this spot. It's a difficult thing for me to envision given the hot streak that they've been on. And the Cowboys have got to come back to earth. I mean, for God's sake, they what do they have at running back? Look at who they're starting at quarterback. Their defense for most of the year was not that great. So I don't know. I'm going to go Tampa Bay money line here and go -205. And that's the Sunday. That is the Sunday night game. The Monday night game is just awful. The Raiders and the Jaguars. Oh my Lord! I have a rule, Tom. I never bet on games featuring a bad team against a bad team. You just, in my opinion, you have no idea what is going to happen in games where you have 2 bad teams playing each other.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in this situation, you have to take the dog or nothing. But the Raiders haven't, what are they on, a 10-game losing streak? They haven't really given up. I don't think the Jacksonville Jaguars deserve to win a game, but I don't think either of these teams really want to win. If I was going to make a bet on this game, it would be with the dog, the Jags.
The Raiders, of course, are going to be starting, I believe, Aiden. Well, is it? Oh, no, I think they'll start Desmond Ridder again. Won't they?
I think they announced that O'Connell will be starting.
Okay, so O'Connell is back, but is Aiden O'Connell should be playing in the USFL or XFL or whatever it's called now. He's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. Good for him that he's defrauded the Raiders apparently into believing so. But in this game again, bad team against bad team. I don't want nothing to do. It's really too bad that right before Christmas we're subjected to a Monday night game that is just a complete dog. The Detroit-Chicago game, this would have been easy for me a month ago. Oh, Detroit, they're going to win by 20. They are decimated with injuries on defense. I mean, just wrecked. There's something like 20 guys on their injured reserve right now, 2/3 of them being defensive starters. Can Detroit? I have a hard time. I would have a hard time betting Chicago in this game, but I would also have a hard time betting Detroit.
Yeah, I think Detroit, well, they need to gain more. But you would think after Eberflus got fired that we'd see a boost from this Bears team, and we really haven't.
It's gotten worse.
Yeah, they've been getting blown out. So, yeah, even the injuries, I think the motivation, Lions are at home too. I think they win and cover this one.
I just I'm so worried about their defense that it just, I think I'm going to have to stay away from that game. Your Philadelphia Eagles on the road at the Washington Commanders. Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I don't know how A.J. Brown's going to play or if he's playing, but I think Saquon Barkley is going to run all over this defense. They saw him a couple weeks ago. It was close for most of the game, first 3 quarters, and the Eagles pulled away. I don't really like the hook here, the 3.5. But yeah, I think the Eagles win another one. Though you kind of want to see them take a loss before they get into the playoffs. They have an easy schedule coming up. After the Commanders, it's the Cowboys and the Giants, both at home.
Los Angeles Rams are at the New York Giants, also in the early window tomorrow. I love the Rams in this spot. There's nothing for me for the Jets. Now they've looked a little better in their past couple of games than they've looked earlier in the season. But the Rams, man, that offense, when Stafford gets rolling, I mean, it's almost impossible to stop. I know Cooper Kupp had a terrible game last week. I don't see him doing that 2 games in a row between him and Nacua and a couple of the other weapons and Stafford, and just how bad. Remember at the beginning of the season when everybody was telling us how the Jets defense was the best one in the NFL? Do you remember that? That certainly proved not to be true.
Yeah, I don't know. The Jets kind of have nothing to lose. They're at home here.
The Rams still plan to try to win that division.
Yeah, they could win the division. I think they win. I don't know if I like the number.
You might counsel people money line it in that game with the Rams.
Money line. You could throw it in a parlay with something else, maybe the Falcons or something like that.
All right, Minnesota is at Seattle. The Seahawks have started to just come apart. If you live in the Pacific Northwest like I do, everybody's just kind of going, oh yeah, that's what the Seahawks do. When it gets important, they start losing games. And so Minnesota is -3. Now, interestingly, this is another one of those lines that did a little flipperoo. It opened Minnesota +2. It is now Seattle +3. Vikings -3.
Yeah, I kind of want to take the home dog here. Geno Smith is expected to play. Besides the Lions, Vikings have had a pretty easy schedule. And I guess they had a blowout last week. But other than that, they're not really blowing teams out.
No, they're not. I wonder if there's going to be weather in that game. It has been raining here pretty heavily. And I'm about 90 miles from Seattle. But if it's raining on the west side of the state where I am, it's raining in the entire west side of the state. So that's just the way that it goes. A huge line, New England at Buffalo. Buffalo is -14. So I think this could be a letdown spot for Buffalo. They've had a lot of important games back to back to back. They're going to be at home. They've got New England coming, who they think, New England, they suck. Boy, that's a lot of points in an NFL game.
I'm on the same side you are. Their last 2 games, they put up a lot of points too. So I expect to see regression from that offense. 14 is too much. Patriots are playing better with Drake May. They should be able to keep this close.
All right. That's betting in the break for hitthepick.com. Hitthepick.com, by the way, that website's going to be live as of Monday, we believe. And you can start giving us money for the premium picks, not just get the free stuff. And oh, by the way, when you go and sign up to hitthepick.com, you are going to get an industry-leading $100 in real money credit towards behind the paywall expert picks. So go sign up, get your free $100, and get some expert advice. And as Tom Macrina would say, let's catch some tickets. He's Tom Macrina. I'm Loud Esmond for hitthepick.com. This is the Betting in the Break show for Saturday. Join us again tomorrow at the same time, Betting in the Break.